Janine. So nice to have you all here. Please say hello and where you're from. And yeah, if you're here for the first time, welcome on in. Today is the Wednesday's Q&A, so you have an opportunity to ask me questions. Again, if you were here yesterday for the show, of course, on Tuesdays, every couple of weeks we have the live Dr. Janine Show, and we had a bunch of topics that we covered yesterday. So we talked about fake hormones and HRT. We also talked about dark circles under the eyes. I gave you my tips. If you want me to review anything that you may have missed yesterday, we can definitely do that, or even if you just want to see the information again, let us know. We also talked about corns and calluses. We talked about sinusitis and chronic allergies, and I gave you my list of fabulous natural antihistamines that you can take that do not have negative side effects as related to, you know, the conventional ways of actually treating allergies with the over-the-counters, which make your head very groggy, let's put it that way. So please say hello. Nice to see you. Mom Talenajala. I don't know if that was messed up, but hello. Thank you for tuning in today. G2 Govind, thank you for tuning in. Sosha 8, nice to see you. Yeah, we did talk about dark circles yesterday, so we can review some of those slides that we covered and my tips. Bernadette, hello. Nice to see you. Yoglo, nice to see you as well. Ruby, Kester, Tony, thank you for tuning in. It's great to have you all here. So if you do have questions, start to put them in the comment section based on yesterday's show. Maybe we'll start with the dark circles because Sosha, you missed that part of yesterday's live. So maybe we'll go over there and we can show you some information that I showed on the slides yesterday in terms of some of the causes of dark circles under the eyes and, of course, my tips, some of the things that we can do for them. So when we talk about dark circles, yeah, it can be caused by your gut microbiome not being as healthy as it should be. So this is really important because there's definitely a link between what's going on in the gut and maybe having some less favorable organisms in here. You probably know what I'm talking about. Those bad guys in the gut and these organisms, they can sort of take over, and that causes that messy microbiome and something called dysbiosis. And there's different stages of that dysbiosis as it gets worse. So that messy microbiome is something that we can definitely correlate now to what's happening under the eyes with the dark circles. And that can be related to something else here, which we see on number 2, an iron deficiency. So some of these bad organisms, they actually latch onto the intestinal walls and they can be very much robbing you of your iron levels. So that's an important correlation that you want to make, all right? As well as vitamin deficiency, so vitamin D, vitamin C, K deficiencies as well can be related to those dark circles. Kidney issues, so that comes back to traditional Chinese medicine. And of course, when we have puffiness and lack of proper drainage through the kidneys underneath the eyes as well, and the dark circles can be related to your kidney health. Lack of sleep, as we know, allergies and sinusitis, another topic that we cover today, and even dehydration can cause those dark circles. Hello, Baking Mama of 3. Nice to see you. Kat as well. Thank you for tuning in, and it's great to have you here. Thank you. West 3578 is asking about dry peeling nails. That's often related to omega-3 fatty acid deficiency. Most of our diets, well in Dubai, nice to have you here. Thank you for tuning in. So most of us in a traditional diet get more of the omega-6s. Often we're very much lacking in the omega-3s unless you're actively trying to consume some of the, you know, more advantageous foods that can be really helpful in terms of being able to get enough of your omega-3s in. So that would be fish and seafood, but also, you know, making sure that we are getting enough of it and getting it daily. Some people do need to supplement with those omega-3s, so that's something that's really important. Okay, so my tips, now let's talk about tips for dark circles. That would be great. And yeah, I don't know why this is not coordinating, but anyways, here we go. Let's talk about my tips for dark circles really quickly. Here we go, is to, of course, do that microbiome cleanse. It's something that I talk a lot about in terms of being able to kill those bad guys in the gut. We have a combination called Cabo that I'm really, This is an important thing to be doing, and especially, in the springtime right now, a great time to do that full body detox, and also the Cabo. And the Cabo does definitely help to kill off those less favorable organisms that can be in the gut. So of course, cloves, artemisia, black walnuts, oregano, all taken together in combination. And that's something that I love to do. It makes all the difference in the world, not just for digestion, but of course, for all these other extraneous things like dark circles under the eyes that can be related to that messy microbiome. Thank you for sharing, Orlando. Thank you for sharing today's live. Hey, if you're here for the first time, please put a 1 in the comments. Rockstar mom of 3, best vitamin for age 40 years and up. Okay, there are some standard things that I think that are super important. The omega-3s is a big one. I'll just kind of give you a list of some of the things that I like to take. And I am over 40, so yes, obviously. So the omega-3s, absolutely. Probiotics is something that I call a daily essential as well. Really important for your gut microbiome. Can help with that messy microbiome as well when we're talking about those dark circles. I like a whole food. So if you're looking for a multivitamin, always take whole food vitamins. So whole food multi is something that I absolutely love, and this is what I take, and that is a combination of superfood fruits and veggies, and that is definitely, in my opinion, the way to go. You don't want to take synthetic vitamins, okay? And that is something that I've done a lot of research on over the years, and I educate people about that. Synthetic vitamins are loaded with fillers, synthetic nutrients, usually from the petrochemical industry, which people don't realize, and they're chemically based, and your body doesn't recognize chemicals, of course, as well as foods and whole foods and superfoods from nature. Okay, here's a great question. Does the Cabo work for mold? And it helps with the sinuses? Absolutely. So if I were to have a patient who came in with chronic sinusitis, sinus infections, mold, candida, issues with those bad organisms in the system, that's where I would start, is with the Cabo protocol. And it does follow up with a full body detox and probiotics as well, so that's really important. All right, thank you for everybody tuning in today. Great questions coming in. Continuing for dark circles, again, full body and kidney detox, so addressing that kidney health, using those herbal medicines that help to as that full body detox. Whole food vitamins, as I said, circadian rhythms and optimizing your sleep schedule is really, really important. That's something that is covered in detail in my new book coming out. So if you missed it yesterday, we had a few announcements in terms of the launching of the new book. It is available for pre-order right now. The expected launch date is May the 19th to actually get your copies to be shipped out, but you pre-order now, so make sure that you're doing that. Go to my website, drjaninebowring.com. This is my 3rd book, and I'm very proud of it. And as you can see, there's so much vital information all tied into tuning back into nature again, and that's what it's all about. Okay, so Rosie, please, you tell people about the fillers in their supplements. I'm so glad. Is it Rosie 288? It's so important that people just don't realize how many fillers can be found in your supplements, and that is, a lot of people just who take supplements, you don't even realize that they're usually synthetically derived, and they're not naturally based, of course, and that's why whole food vitamins are, if you're going to take vitamins, they should be whole food. I love you, Jesus. Follow. Thank you so much. Thank you for following. It's great to have you here. I'm guessing for the first time today, so thank you for tuning in. And okay, good for insomnia. What's good for insomnia? Okay, so there are... And Xmas Terry is asking, what are whole food vitamins? Whole food vitamins are vitamins that are made from natural whole food ingredients like fruits and vegetables, herbal medicines, and they're freeze-dried and then encapsulated. So that's, the ultimate way of getting your nutrients in is in a form that your body actually knows how to digest and absorb and recognize and break it down and properly, and to have that proper bioavailability. Rosie288, what do I think of L-glutamine? And you had another question, sorry, I'm scrolling too fast for my brain to keep up. And you glow, big puffy eyes. So yeah, so doing that protocol for the dark circles under the eyes, very important, and optimizing your kidney health. And there are a few herbal medicines that help to do that. Rosie 288, I do like L-glutamine. I think that's what you mean for your gut health. That's something that, in a protein powder that I take, it has the L-glutamine, and it's actually designed, that protein powder is designed to actually heal leaky gut. So for gut health, really, really really important that you're getting absorbable protein for that repair, but also that it has some, very special ingredients like L-glutamine. Selenium is another big one that helps to repair those tight junctions in the gut. What about NAD for allergies? Not always my favorite go-to. NAD is usually synthetically made, which a lot of people don't realize. My herbal medicines that I prefer, something that we talked about yesterday, are butterbur. We talked about quercetin yesterday for allergies, natural antihistamines, stinging nettle, another natural antihistamine. So that is my preferred combination for dealing with seasonal allergies, hay fever, and not NAD, which is synthetically derived, all right? And that is something, and butterbur is a natural antihistamine, but it also inhibits the leukotrienes, and this is something that is important because that inflammatory response when you do have allergies is part of your immune system is overreacting, you're getting that histamine response, so you can use these natural ingredients, and these are my three favorites, quercetin, stinging nettle, and butterbur in combination, which is fantastic. Now, I did have a question, maybe my team can bring it up for me again. The question that came up about this yesterday, I need to jog my memory. Okay, here we go. Do these herbal medicines help to work for vertigo? Yes, absolutely. So in some instances, and whether they can test this, I don't think so, but when you do have vertigo, so dizziness, that can be related to a histamine response. And if it is histamine based, then these herbal medicines are going to work to help with the vertigo. So it's something to explore because again, they're natural, not a huge investment to try these. And it's something that I actually take all of these three in combination together in one formula, which is amazing for me for motion sickness. So yes, helps with allergies. I usually get my allergies towards the end of the summer in, late August, depending on the season, late August, early September with the ragweed and the goldenrod. And this formulation, I'm telling you, it saves me. It saves me. As soon as I get that first sneeze, I'll take a couple capsules of this. Remarkable and all natural. Doesn't make you feel like you're really groggy and you can't function because they're all natural antihistamines. And I've heard horror stories about taking like conventional allergy meds and even over-the-counter stuff that make you feel really not so good. Thank you. Yes, thank you, Baking Mom of 3. Yes, it is hard to find pure supplements. You got to do a little bit of research sometimes. Absolutely. Dry skin and dry scalp, what's the solution? This is a great, and especially if it's itchy, that could be a fungal issue. It's something that we've talked about before. I like the combination of lemongrass essential oil and either coconut oil, almond oil, jojoba oil, mix that, put that on the scalp, and you can leave it there for about half an hour or even overnight and then shampoo it out. Apple cider vinegar also works on the scalp, but ultimately you want to dry your scalp. So if you get sweaty or if you are washing your hair, always make sure that you're drying it, blow drying it, to make sure that and never go to bed with wet hair because that fungus is going to grow. It sits in your pillow, and never go to bed with wet hair. That's another big tip. And get more natural sunlight exposure on your scalp. Most people who do have itchy, dry scalp, it's usually worse in the winter months. So you want to get more sun. Uptown Cheesecake, hello. Thank you for tuning in. So calluses on the feet. And if they're spreading, so depending on your footwear, something that we did have a question on yesterday. So that is something that if we want to look at our notes really quickly, and then I'm going to get to Rob's question in just a second. So causes of calluses and corns, there could be pressure and friction, of course. Footwear is usually, a big proponent of this, and of course, bunions as well. So my tips are, and what we talked about is, of course, changing your footwear. You can do an apple cider vinegar soak, which is amazing. So you're going to use 4 parts of water to 1 part apple cider vinegar. Soak your feet for 15 to 20 minutes. And then you can also file off the dead skin after that. You can also do Epsom salt. So 2 tablespoons of Epsom salts in your basin of water. Soak where you've got those calluses and corns potentially as well. Then you can file off the dead skin. Amazing. And of course, maintaining that moisture is really important as well because it's a lot of dead skin that is now sort of compounding upon itself. and becoming very, very hardened. So you may want to, of course, make sure that you're always moisturizing. So things like castor oil, jojoba oil are fantastic. Now, it was Rob on X who was asking, how do you get rid of visceral fat safely? Any supplements you recommend to assist with this? Yeah, there are a few. So definitely movement is important, eating a seasonal diet based on your location, so where you live. So for instance, living in a colder climate like I do, eating a lot of fruit throughout the winter time, that's not a seasonal diet. And I know that we have, access to it in the grocery store, but if it doesn't grow, and this is why I've done a video, no bananas in Canada, especially in the wintertime, if it doesn't grow where you live, then you don't have the right ability in your metabolism because you don't have enough natural sunlight exposure in the winter to be able to metabolize that fruit, as an example, okay? So, and that can then lead to visceral fat. Now, I do like green tea and the combination of a little bit of caffeine from green tea. This is really promising in terms of being able to address that visceral fat, and adaptogenic herbal medicines are also great for visceral fat. So yeah, there's definitely great combos out there that you can check out. Thank you, Wayne, for the follow. Ellen as well, thanks for following today. Great to have you here. I'm Dr. Janine, and we're following up to yesterday's show. So in a couple of weeks, I'll be back with a live show, the Dr. Janine Show. You can check out all of my old episodes on where you watch long form video. And yeah, we have a live show with different health topics every couple of weeks. And today we're sort of following up some of the questions that were coming in yesterday. But if you have new questions coming in, put them in the comment section. I'm trying to get to everybody's questions. There's so many. And Farah Naz is asking for remedies for sinusitis. So again, doing that when we're talking about, dealing with what's going on in terms of the microbiome, that's very important. I often start with Cabo. Cabo is, maybe we'll look at it really quickly again, the combination of these herbal medicines. It's if you search Cabo now, it's so funny. If you search online for Cabo and microbiome or like those bad guys in your gut, you might actually find it. So they've actually indexed my coining of Cabo, of these herbal medicines on the internet, yeah, which is kind of cool. Cloves, artemisia, black walnuts, and oregano to help with dealing with those bad guys in the gut, in the bloodstream, in the sinuses. Think about where, fungus and some of these less favorable organisms reside in a dark, moist place. What are the sinuses? They're a dark, moist place. Great, breeding ground for some of these less favorable organisms. So you got to kill them off. Watch the sugar, especially let's go over here really quickly. Watch the, refined sugar in the diet as well. Even, healthy fruit sugars. If you consume too much of them or drink a lot of juice, that's going to make your sinusitis worse, okay? What is another question coming in? Eye floaters. What can we do about eye floaters without having to need to have surgery? Shazeb. That's a great question. So often there's an omega-3 fatty acid deficiency. So taking a good high quality fish oil, I don't think you can eat enough fish to have the therapeutic effect. I think you need to supplement. In that case, at least with my patients, that's what I have noticed, that they can absolutely disappear when you're getting enough of those omega-3s. But also, there are some very important nutrients for the eyes, lutein and zeaxanthin. And that comes from the African marigold plant, which in a high concentration you can actually take in a supplement. And again, always looking for a whole food eye supplement. So without the synthetic, because most of the eye supplements out there, they have a lot of the synthetic vitamins in there. So you want to avoid those. You want to go with a whole food supplement. And that has, of course, the lutein and the zeaxanthin and things like carrots and, these nutrients that you can take in a higher concentration to actually, bilberry is another herbal medicine, ribes nigrum, also a good herbal medicine that actually helps with those floaters in the eyes, provides those, very specific antioxidants to help to deal with those little shadows that you can be seeing with the floaters. I've seen remarkable, people as much, and I've posted videos on this on social media. You can probably find them. They're probably like 3-4 years old now, with all the commenting that, people were saying, because I said, I've seen it myself. I used to have floaters myself and they disappeared. I did my protocols and some of the things that I just mentioned, and people are saying, no, it's impossible. And experts were chiming in the comment, I'm an eye doctor, it's not possible to clear up floaters. And yeah, it is possible. And, you know, there was a lot of commenting on that video, so you can check it out. Nice to see you all. Thank you for everybody tuning in. MD has SEEP, triceps, can be different sizes. Yeah, muscle imbalance. So yeah, you still want to work bilaterally. So if there is a muscle imbalance, as much as you would think, okay, if one muscle, let's say my bicep, if this one's much bigger than this one, you would think, okay, don't work out this one, but work out this one. But the brain has, you know, interesting ways of everything being coordinated. So you actually still want to work bilaterally, in my opinion, to help to bring up the other one to speed. Maybe there's a brain connection to that muscle that isn't quite connecting. So I would work bilaterally, you know, if it is your triceps, but work bilaterally to get those triceps. And doing, you know, yes, with weights, I would say, but also doing body weight. So like tricep dips, if everybody knows that, you go on the back of a chair or your sofa and you just do those little dips, or a bench. That could be a way to reprogram your brain that it needs to happen on both sides of the body, unless there's been an injury or a blood supply or nervous damage to that area. I don't know the full story. That's what I would do for myself personally. Nice to see you. Thank you for tuning in today. Thank you, Catman, for the follow, and thanks for sharing today's live. Hey, if everybody could hit that share button, I would love that. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Maria in Uganda, thank you for tuning in. It's great to have you here today. Okay, a question came in as well about the herbal medicines that we mentioned, the butterbur, the quercetin. Is it helpful for hives? Yes, absolutely. So hives, again, usually a histamine response. You can get hives, you know, for just about any reason in terms of what's going on in terms of that histamine response. Even stress can cause that. So that's why I love these herbal medicines in terms of being able to treat, you know, hives or allergic responses, histamine responses, even to food, if you, or something triggers you for whatever reason, even your nervous system, that, you know, these herbal medicines will really help. All right, awesome, awesome, awesome. Raina, thank you for sharing today's live. Oh, thank you. Raina's saying such kind words. Thank you, thank you, thank you for that, Raina. It's so great to always see you here. And okay, what is a good omega-3? So you're looking for one. I prefer an omega-3 that is higher in the DHA and something that's easy to take, because a lot of, you know, even when I was seeing my patients, a lot of the, I think back to the, you know, medicines that the fish oil medicines, natural medicines that we would prescribe, didn't always go down so well. So there would be like liquids, like thin liquid forms, or the cod liver oil pills. I never prescribed that type, or like a thicker liquid emulsion. I prefer now these days, and for my kids, what we take is a soft chewable gel cap, which tastes good. Tastes, you know, there's different flavors, you know, in soft chewable gel caps. The one that I take happens to be orange flavored. There's no fishy taste. It's absolutely delicious. So that's the one that I prefer, but higher in that DHA, which, because our brain tends to be, as humans are, in terms of the omegas, our brains tend to be more deficient in that DHA, and it also concentrates, the DHA concentrates in the, it's called the retinal hypothalamic tract. So between your retina, the back of your eye, and the hypothalamus, which we know is like our master hormone regulator in our body, in the brain, that in there we have the highest concentration of that DHA, the docosahexaenoic acid, so that omega-3 fatty acids. So you want to make sure that you're getting enough of that every single day. I haven't taken mine. I was about to take it before I came on live, and I forgot, like I got busy and sidetracked with something else. It's really good for your brain function as well. So you got to take your omega-3s. All right. Okay, another question came in. I don't know where to go. There's so many. Okay, thyroidectomy. So after thyroidectomy, what is something that is important to support your thyroid gland? Okay, so there is a thyroid supporting supplement that you can take. It is amazing. So even for anybody who has any type of thyroid issue, I'll have my team sort of help you out where you can learn more information about that. But yeah, you want to make sure that you're getting iodine from natural whole food sources. So from, like, you know, a seaweed type of source. as well as tyrosine, which is an amino acid which you need to make that active thyroid hormone. Even though they removed, usually it's most of the thyroid, there's still little itty bits of thyroid still left. Even though most of it has been removed in a thyroidectomy, a total thyroidectomy, there's always going to be some cells there. So that's important. You still want to support the functioning of that endocrine system with the nutrients that the thyroid actually needs, whether you have it or not, okay? So that is something that can be taken together. So that Earth Angel, yes, or Earth Angel, now I get it, yeah. Great question. So I hope my team is gonna be able to do, and you can always send an email if there's something specifically that we weren't able to, because we're on multiple platforms at once. Please send an email to the team at drjanинebowring.com and we'll be able to, reach out to you. And even sign up for the mailing list here, because then you can, I believe, read the first 10 pages of the book as well. So you can check that out and get on that pre-order list for the book, okay? Because that is going to be great. All right. MD Hasib, yes, definitely a neurologist can treat muscle imbalances depending on the the cause of what's going on with the muscles. Okay. Bhagyashri, did I get that right? Remedies for chin hair can be related to PCOS. So polycystic ovarian syndrome, so that is a hormonal imbalance, what's going on with ovaries, and having cysts in the ovaries, usually the testosterone goes high. So that's something that can be addressed, absolutely. And there's, certain protocols. I usually start with doing a full body detox in that case, making sure the sugars, so especially sugar, too many carbohydrates is going to exacerbate that. You've got to fix your leptin resistance, which I have a lot of content on that. So that's something else that you can definitely check out my content on leptin and insulin resistance. And I do have remedies, videos on remedies for PCOS, so you can check that out. Do you take the herbal medicines at the same time as the Cabo? Great question. So you start with the Cabo in terms of your microbiome, cleaning up that messy microbiome. So you kill off the bad guys. After, the first couple of weeks of doing the Cabo, that's when you start the full body detox. So then after you've done 2 weeks of the detox, you stay on the full body detox, ideally for a couple months, like do it properly. A couple months on the full body detox, you continue with that one, you don't stop that one, and then you're gonna do the second round of the Cabo. And there's a reason for taking a break with killing off the bad guys, is because they have a life cycle and they lay their babies, their eggs. So, and it actually follows the moon cycle, which is so interesting. So this is something that you definitely want to do 2 weeks on the Cabo, take a 2-week break, and then you go back to the 2 weeks of the Cabo, if that makes sense. But if you have specific questions, again, please send an email to the Dr. Janine Bowring website, and our team will definitely be able to help you out with some of the protocols and things, and that is good. Okay, 59, Michelle, thank you for tuning in. Arthritis, some of my favorite go-tos, definitely turmeric with a high concentration of curcumin, that would be one. I have some capsules right here, so this is definitely a go-to for chronic arthritic conditions, but also I love glucosamine sulfate, so a combination of glucosamine, chondroitin sulfate, boswellia, bromelain, fruit and veggies in that whole food form that we talked about earlier in today's live. Taking that all in combination really helps to address that arthritis, no matter what joint it's in. It is really, really important. And maybe my team can help you out or define that, or, for specific recommendations, you can send an email to my team at, where's my book thing? The website at Dr. Janine Bowring. There we go. drjaninebowring.com. Just send an email with specific questions if I wasn't able to get to your question as well. Okay, Armin, you lost your sense of smell and taste, and an antihistamine was recommended. Often that can be related to a zinc deficiency. Okay, so I would maybe take a look at a zinc deficiency, a zinc with a quercetin. So the zinc that I actually take has quercetin within it. And isn't that a great combination? Because the quercetin is a natural antihistamine. So Armin, please, if my team can't answer you, there is a specific thing that may be very helpful here. So zinc that has a quercetin in it, okay? So that's gonna be something that could be very helpful. in that situation, and that would be great. Okay, you want to see this? Okay, we brought it up again, drjaninebowring.com. The pre-orders are available for my book launching May 19th. Super excited about that. It's my third book, and yeah, there's a lot of buzz around this book. People have been waiting for it that knew that I was writing it. It took me a long time, like 5 years to write this book. It's crazy. It's very well referenced, and it's got new and emerging research, and then our old lost medicine, you know, just simple things as to how to reconnect with nature to be able to be well again. And this is why it's so important. All right. Something about Deb Suma. So yeah, with heartbeat issues, my go-to is always magnesium. There's usually a magnesium deficiency. My favorite type of magnesium, which if you see me on television, I always talk about magnesium bisglycinate, down to glycine, really, really important. So magnesium bisglycinate, that's something that you can look up, and make sure it doesn't have fillers or flow agents, and it doesn't have magnesium stearate in it, which is that flow agent, which none of your vitamins, please, if there's nothing that you take away from today's live, none of your vitamins, please, they should have magnesium stearate in them. Magnesium stearate is a flow agent that you definitely want to avoid, okay? It's never been tested to be safe for long-term human consumption, and it's something that a lot of people just don't realize that it could be, you know, in your vitamins, and something that, yeah, could be potentially dangerous for your health, and you just don't realize it, but it is a chemical, and they use it to speed up production times. All right, so thank you to everybody who tuned in today. It was so great to have you all here. Don't forget that we're back in a couple on Tuesday for the Dr. Janine Show, and we will be talking about different topics, which I'm super excited about. So we always have new topics every week. We play for, we do quiz questions, we play for prizes as well. For all the new people who did join in today, it was so great to have you here. So thank you so much, and it's nice to meet you. And yeah, take a look at my content in the meantime. And of course, have a great day. Thanks for all my new followers as well. I appreciate you all, and we'll see you in a couple weeks. All right, bye.